everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is a snowy day, but that is not stopping us from going thrifting. So I'm going to put the timestamp right here if you want to fast forward right to the haul. But without further ado, let's go thrifting. So I decided to look around in Salvation Army because it was on my way to my favorite thrift store, and I actually found quite a few furniture items that I really liked. I really love the style of these couches for some reason, but I was really impressed with the dining sets there as well. And as soon as I saw this, I knew this was an upcycle, and for 30 bucks, I don't think that's too bad. I stumbled across these glasses. There were only two, but I absolutely love this style. I actually gifted a set to my mom and my sister for Christmas. I also attempted to look at the frames while I was there. Was interested in seeing what styles that they had, but there wasn't much I was interested in. I did, however, see this mirror, was curious to see what the material was that it was made out of, and it was just a simple wood frame. I also really like this blanket. It was just a beautiful color. I thought it would be great for a boho inspired room. And I saw this bowl. I just really love the detail on it. Definitely more of a contemporary piece, but something about it just caught my eye. And lately I've been obsessing over teacups. It's not something that I have in my home, but I probably will grab some eventually. And last but not least, I just took a look at the basket section. Not much was there, not much of interest, so I left shortly after. So I only got one thing from here. I wasn't really surprised by that. This is kind of like a hit or miss store, so I'm gonna head to the place I was originally going to, so let's check it out. So next stop was my tiny little thrift store that I absolutely love. I was looking for some items in particular, but things here just always catch my eye. I fell in love with this frame though, just love the style of it, so it was a definite must for me. And I noticed this style too. It was a little bit more contemporary, more new age, but I just really love the details on it, so I picked it up as well. And even though I absolutely adore trays and usually stop to take a look at them, this just wasn't my vibe, and so I put it back. And this was just a beautiful artwork piece. I just really love the shoreline and just the sun setting, just beautiful. I also took a look at more frames here. They were cute, but just not my style, so I put them back. And in the glass section, I found some cute cups. This one was actually adorable. I love the feet of it. And for $1.99 was actually a really great price. I also found these glasses as well. There were only two of those. A little surprised by the price though, two for $3.99. But regardless, when it comes to glasses, I'm always looking for at least a set of four. And this bowl was adorable. I just really love the color, despite the fact that bright, bold colors are not my thing. But I really love the simplicity of it as well. I also stopped to take a look at this vase. I really love the bottom of this vase, but the top part of it seems so drastically different from the style below it that I decided not to get it. And I'm always keeping an eye out for these kinds of stands. Unfortunately, this one was just a little too small for my liking. I would love to have a bigger one, and so for that reason, I decided not to get it. I also really love the design on this picture. It was so beautiful. It said 3 for $3.99, but there was nothing else of the same style, so I was rather confused by that. But regardless, it was something that, although cute, wasn't something that I ended up getting. And after looking through the store several times, nothing else was grabbing my attention, so I left. Alright, the good news is that it stopped snowing, which means I can actually go to the place that I was intending to go to today. So we're going to head over there, and hopefully we find something good because I'm going to have to pay to park, so let's go on over. So I never knew this place existed, but I was so glad that I came here. This place had so much inventory, so much so though that it was actually floor to ceiling filled with stuff. You could barely walk around in this store, but regardless, there were so many good items to look at. Like, this is the place that you want to go to if you want to restore your house in the right era that it came from. Just so many great building materials and knickknacks. I really love this vase, but the dried florals in it were actually attached, so I decided not to get it. And prices at the store were decently priced, so I think there was some wiggle room with the pricing as well. And I love the style of this chair. $25 I think is pretty fair considering it has a rip in the middle of the seat and so many gorgeous crocs, but they were way too high up that I just didn't even want to ask. There were so many items though here to look at that I'm sure that I could have spent more time, but this little store was definitely the highlight of the day. So I wasn't in there long, although there was so much stuff. I wish I had more time to look around, but I just got a winter advisory that there's going to be like a snow squall or something. So better to be safe than sorry and head home before that's supposed to happen. So I'll go somewhere else tomorrow just to see and look around. I've been staying away from Goodwill, but maybe we'll head there because it is a Sunday and not a lot of thrift stores are open on Sundays. So let's jump to then. So the last stop ended up being Goodwill. As I mentioned, I saw this vase. It was a very peculiar shape, but I did really like the pattern on top of it. And something about these copper vases I just absolutely fell in love with. $5.99 for the pair I thought was pretty good, so I picked them up. I also really loved this frame set, just beautiful. And although these pictures were gorgeous, they were a little pricey, and I wish I would have picked them up, but at the same time I thought $7.99 was just a little too high for something that wasn't even an actual painting. And by chance, I stumbled across this frame. I really liked the style of it, but the material was kind of almost like a plastic, and so I passed on it. And this was a very interesting style of a lantern, just a very different style for a pillar candle holder. And I couldn't resist taking a look at this mug because of the pattern, just so cute. I will say though, I was really impressed with the inventory today at Goodwill, especially considering the last few times that I've been here, it wasn't as fruitful. These trays are adorable and I've always wanted one. I've seen them styled before and just something that I had to have. This vase was also very cute too, but the price seemed a little high for it, so I just put it back. The color really wouldn't have worked in my space anyways. And because green is the color palette of some of my rooms, I always stop to take a look at anything that I can find that is green. I really love this vase though, just love the decorative detail of it, and although it was a fair price, it was something that I ended up leaving behind. And so I definitely feel like I ended the shopping trip on a good note. So with that being said, it's thrift haul time. So first up, I went to Salvation Army. I only picked up one thing there, as I mentioned earlier, and it was this bowl. I actually really love this pattern right here. I thought it was really beautiful, and I love the color too. The outside is like a silver color though. I'm not a real big fan of that. I don't know why it's like two different colors like that, but honestly, that's an easy fix. So when I saw it, I assumed it was a newer piece, and turns out I was right. I actually found this same style bowl on Wayfair, but it was going at the thrift store for $5, so I thought it was just a nice decorative bowl to have. I'll probably paint this outside though. I don't have too much silver tones in my house anymore. I'm fine with mixing metals, but I'm kind of steering away from silver. It's just a little too cool toned these days from what I'm going for. But I thought this was a cute find, and for $5 I think that's fair. And next up, I went to one of my favorite little thrift stores. I didn't find much there, so I just picked up these two frames. I just really love the detail on them, so I wanted to pick it up. So let's talk about this one though first. So I love the ornate style of it, and I love the fact that it looks vintage. It might be actually a vintage frame, and I'd only guess it might be due to the clasps on the back of it. But regardless, even if it's not a vintage frame, it airs on the side of vintage frames, so I thought it was a good grab. I love the scrolly detail, like the curved line look. Scrolly details. New dictionary word. It's just a beautiful pattern. I don't find square frames too often, so I like the fact that this one is actually a different size, so I thought this would be a cool one to have, and this one definitely is a great size to kind of put on a console table or something like a bookshelf. So I really love this one though, and this one was only $1.99, so I thought that was a pretty good price. Next up is this frame. Now this frame, I really love the detail of it. I don't really care for the fact that it's more of a bright yellow gold. It's just my personal preference, but I really love it when it's a little bit more aged. So for me, this definitely will be a DIY, just a quick and simple DIY. I'll probably do some rub and buff in order to make it look like it's an older piece, because I do feel like this detail on it is so amazing. I love how these leaves go in like this, and this style actually kind of reminds me of that very popular Anthropologie mirror that everybody loves. So surprising to me, but this was listed for $3.99. I think it's because it's a newer style frame and a detailed one at that it was priced for $4. $4 in all honesty isn't awful. It's not a bad price. It's just a little uncharacteristic for this thrift store that I've been going to lately. So I do think that was kind of surprising though for a 3x5 frame. So the next place I went to, I don't know how to really describe it other than it was kind of like a conglomerate of just about everything on the planet you could possibly think of when it comes to like antique and vintage. Kind of feel like whatever it is that you were looking for, It was probably there. And it was floor to ceiling of stuff. Like, I don't even know. So first up is this brass pitcher vase. I just really loved it. This is literally like a typical piece of me. Like, if you walked around my house, typical piece. You're gonna walk in just about every single room and find carved detail brass. But I love the fact that this is aged, it wasn't polished, and those are the type of brass pieces that I look for. I really love the older feel, so I was glad to pick this one up. Anything that has a handle, you basically sold me. I love it. I've bought 3 things from this store in particular, all of which came to $20. Just guesstimating based off of what he picked up, I would say this one was priced around $6, which for brass, I think is pretty fair. Next up is this piece. I love these things. I don't remember what they're called, but I'll put the word right here because I know what it is, but I just can't think of it right now. But these are so cute. I love these style bowls. I've always wanted to kind of decorate one of these in my kitchen, and now that I have a kitchen shelf to kind of like just put knickknacks, I'm really excited about that. This little masher just has some beautiful lines going through it. Like, I just love the different variations of color that are in this wood grain. But this bowl, it's a solid piece of wood for one, but like this live edge wood on the top, I absolutely adore it. I think that's what sold me. It's just beautiful. So this one I know is probably not a vintage piece. This one still has a sticker from where it was being sold originally, but it was going for $29.95. And just looking at that price, like, wow. I'm glad I got the 3 things for $20. If I had to guess what he priced this one for, I would say probably $6 as well. Just a really awesome piece to put in your kitchen. And so the last thing that I picked up from this store was this brass little wine / goblet thing. I just think it was stunning. There actually was another one, and it would have been great to have pairs. However, the other one unfortunately was just completely polished already, and so it was like so drastic in color that I just wasn't feeling that one. Decorating in odds looks pretty good anyway, so having just one I think could be a good thing. It's actually the same type of carving detail as this little picture right here, but loved it so much, and I'm really glad there was at least one that wasn't polished. The patina of aged brass is just beautiful in my opinion. Again, $20 total, so I was thinking that he probably priced this one the highest at $8. Really good price. Definitely not complaining about it. I think this one was a good grab, and I definitely will be going back to that place sometime. So I ended up going thrifting on the next day. So I ended up going to Goodwill. Now Goodwill is one of those places that I haven't actually gone to recently. Goodwill and I have been on a little bit of a relationship break. So for the past couple of weeks, I've just been going to other places. So because it was the next day, which was Sunday, I had to go to Goodwill because that's literally the only thrift store that's open around me. It was a good thing that I did because I found some good finds and really good prices actually, so I was happy about that. So one of the first things that I found were actually these copper vases. Love. Feeling like a broken record now, so I won't even say it, but I just really loved it. Just very unique and different. I haven't seen stuff like this. Also, it was copper. I don't know why I don't have more copper things in my home. Copper is beautiful. In last week's video when I showed you the copper teapot that I should have gotten, that I wish I gotten, but didn't grab, I'm just like, why haven't I grabbed more copper things? But that's gonna change. I'm gonna start looking for more copper stuff. But these were $5.99 for the pair, which I don't think are awful. $6 for 2 of these. I think it's pretty good. Next up, this glass box. Really love the detail on it. I've always really loved like the really detailed candy dishes, so I'm really happy that I found this one. This could be a really good jewelry box if you wanted it to be, to kind of hold some of your very prized and important possessions. However, I do think this is just a really cute piece too to have in a living room, styled on a top of books, and it actually can be useful. You could put some matches in it next to your candles. So I think this is actually a really cute find. It was only $2.99, which I think is a pretty good price for this. It's not crystal, it's glass, but $3 for this was fair. Next up is this container right here. I'm pretty sure this is probably like to hold a wine bottle or something. Honestly, I just really love the leather handle though. Thought it was cute and adorable. Just really love the look. It's very on trend right now, so I wouldn't say it's like a different look, but regardless, cute feature. I'm thinking that it would make a good vase with some greenery in it. But this one was $5. Again, $5 I think is a good price for this. I think that's fair. Thought it was cute. Definitely liked the style, and so I picked it up. Next up, nothing special, but I found this small adorable rolling pin, so I had to pick it up. Really looking for some aged pieces for my kitchen shelf that I'm going to be building soon. So this one was a good grab. It was only $2.99, which I thought was a pretty good price. I like the fact that it's a skinny one too. So the depth of my shelf is actually going to be very shallow. So I need to find pieces that are very thin that I can actually prop up in a way where it will still fit within the depth of the shelf. So this was a piece that I knew for sure would actually fit on that shelf, and it was only $2.99, which I think is a fair price. So I was like, yeah, a cute rolling pin, why not? This next one, maybe just me, but I got really excited when I found it. It was this. I think this is incredible. It's gorgeous. It's the kind of green hues that I've been looking for my upstairs living room. And to put it plainly, I could never dream to make something so pretty. I wish. So this one was a good find because I'm looking for artwork. I love landscape artwork. Now this one obviously is not an actual painting. It is a reproduction print. Wouldn't you know though, as many frames as I've thrifted in the past, not a one will fit this size. So I'm gonna have to look hard for a frame. If I can thrift a frame, I would love that. That would be ideal. It's just calming and serene, so I really liked it. This one was $5.99, and $5.99 is not that bad. Prints just to download the image for the print could go and vary in range, so the fact that I got this one for $5.99 and I don't have to do anything to print it out. Because of that, I feel like $5.99 is fair. So next up is something that I know that you saw in the footage. It is this tray though. I've seen a lot of boho vintage shops have these kind of trays. I kind of just fell in love with these. Something about the style, I just really liked it. It's a very cute curved edge tray. This one was only $2.99, which I was actually surprised by. I figured it would have been at least $5. So given the fact that it was a cute style that I kind of liked and wanted, and although I probably should have walked away and not grabbed the tray because I buy so many trays, this one was just one I wanted and I didn't want to pass it up, so I grabbed it. I also picked up this vase here. Now I bought it because of the shape. I'll be honest, the silver tone is just not doing it for me. So I think this one will be a DIY for me. It is not an old piece. It is actually a Target piece, so I'm not worried about like transforming something vintage. I'll probably do something a little bit more textured and make it look older. I just love the shape though. The shape is gorgeous to me. I really love like teardrop kind of styles. But I saw the price of $4.99, and I'm not sure if the cashier rung up $4.99, but on the bottom it says $9.99. So I'm not sure what price I paid, but $4.99 would have been a really good price. $9.99 is a fair price. It probably wouldn't have been much more at Target, but that is the highest price that I paid for an item today. So considering I went back to Goodwill and saw this as the highest price on a piece, not bad. Next up, I also found this picture frame. Just really loved it. It was giving me mid-century kind of vibes. And I don't know, I was kind of digging it, so I picked it up. It does kind of lean towards the orange spectrum of wood. However, this color is more typical of more mid-century kind of style. But regardless, I really like it. I love the fact that it has like more of a curved edge. Now this color though is pretty much the exact color as my dressers in my bedroom. So most likely this will probably sit on top of my dresser. So this one was $4.99, which again, honestly, not bad. I think that's a pretty good price. Love the fact that it's on a hinge though. It's just really cute. Just a wonderful piece. And last but not least, my favorite find at Goodwill. I found these gorgeous candlestick holders, and it is a style I don't have yet. How did I not know these existed? So these actually weren't in the section they should have been in. I just happened to walk by the art section and found them across the shelf from the art. Just a very cool happenstance that I passed these and saw them, but these are so gorgeous. I love the height of them. I love the fact that they kind of have a modern feel, but they are definitely like a vintage style. And I really love this detail right here, this little bowl that breaks up the space of the stem. I think that's really cool. I haven't seen that before. And when I saw the price, I was like, oh yeah. So $4.99, not for one, for the pair. I don't know exactly what I did to deserve such a good find, but I'm thankful. So surprisingly a large haul. I did not realize it at the time, but as I was going through stuff, I was like, oh yeah, this is a lot. But I think it goes without saying that I'm super happy about this haul. I found so many cute vintage gems in this haul though, so I'm really happy that I actually stumbled across them. And I found some great places to kind of look at again for upcoming thrift adventures. So if you like this video or if you liked anything from the haul, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, I'll link below for you another video to watch if you're near new here, or if you're just looking to go on a binge of more thrifting adventures and you want something of this caliber, this is a great place to start. But I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for thrifting with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! The best way to subscribe. What? Why are you saying subscribe? Subliminal messaging, I guess. Okay, Road, we good? Oh, that's a plane. Never mind.